2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. We're going to get started here in just a second. All right, video looks good, audio looks good. Let's get this thing kicked off. All right, guys, y'all. I'm so excited right now. I'm just going to be taking a look at our stream here just to make sure that we're looking good. I see some frame drops, but I'll see if that maintains itself over the next little bit here. But welcome in, everybody. My name is Andrew, and this is Rocket Future. We're here on the southern tip of South Padre Island, as per usual, just a couple days before the next launch of Starship, which is currently scheduled for Tuesday. Give me a couple seconds just to check on stream health while we're talking. I think we're good. My playback is not coming through on the phone, but I literally think it's just a playback issue. But I'll check that again in a couple minutes. But El Hungaro is in chat. Welcome in. Zolt is here. Welcome in as well. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. As you can see, there is currently some testing happening on the Starship full stack. They are currently loading propellant into the vehicle. I believe it looks like there is some frostiness on both the methane and liquid oxygen tanks on the ship and booster, I believe. It's a little bit hard to see with the current contrast with the viewing conditions out here, but it's looking good. So I'm just gonna check on a couple more things with stream health here, but we're here and we'll talk. If you have any questions, please let me know. Just getting kind of things set up again after the first time in a while, so it'll be a little bit of a slow start to stream. But I just want to make sure everything's working correctly first and foremost, as this is basically our dry run ahead of launch on Tuesday. If you can hear me, give me a 5x5 in chat. Okay, I can hear myself now on the playback. Wow, that's actually pretty quick. Low latency. Checking in with the Restream chat. We should be live right now on a bunch of different platforms. So if you're tuning in from anywhere, thank you for checking in with us today. So I think we're good. So yeah, I just got here a little while ago. Had a couple things with the Starlink that I had to reconfigure, location based, which I'm glad we came out here and did some testing today, because these are the types of things that we have to remember to do and get all the bugs out before Tuesday. So yeah, we're just hanging out here taking a look at Starship, and it is undergoing testing right now. For a while, you could see some venting coming from the ship portion of the tower. So if you look at that quick disconnect arm, sometimes right on the other side of the quick disconnect arm, you see some vapors coming out there. That's usually when they're purging the lines before or after they're loading propellant or fuel onto the ship. So we saw that a little while ago. That has gone away, and I believe that they have loaded some propellant and stuff into the ship. So yeah, we don't know how far they'll go with propellant loading today. I have a feeling that this could be it. I think the last launch, they did not do a full wet dress rehearsal. So I'm not sure whether or not we're expecting a full wet dress rehearsal today, but I actually do not believe so. So we're just going to keep our eyes out on this thing as we continue to just work out any bugs that we have on stream. So we're fully prepared for Tuesday. But right now we're pretty much configured in launch mode, just as we will on Tuesday, with the exception of a couple small things like some power cables. So I think we're looking pretty good. We got our mic, we got our 2 cameras. We might be running 3 cameras on launch day. Starlink is looking good, so I think we're golden. Let me bring you guys into a full view of the Starship here. So yeah, let's look at the bottom half of the vehicle. You can see some frostiness grow all the way towards the bottom, and then a little bit above halfway up that booster. So that's the liquid oxygen and methane tanks being filled. Got a good breeze here at South Padre Island today. Since we're talking about that, let me switch back over to our split camera and we'll talk a little bit about the next couple days and what to expect. So if you've been following Starship and if you've been following the kind of countdown to Flight 6, you may have heard that there was a chance that we would see this launch on Monday. That was kind of the no earlier than date that SpaceX was advertising for some time. But now that as we gotten closer to that date, they've pushed it by 1 day till so for launch right now is scheduled for Tuesday, 4 p.m. Central Time is the opening of the window, and it's a half-hour launch window. So why did they move it from Monday to Tuesday? I'm not sure if they really confirmed specifically publicly why it was moved, but there's two different possibilities, and it could be a combination of them both. One is weather. I believe we have a cold front moving through on Sunday, Monday. So I think the wind forecast was supposed to be kind of on the higher side on Monday. So that could be one of the reasons why they pushed it to Tuesday. Second, there was some communication. There was some, on Twitter, on X, there was some talk about how maybe they were slightly behind schedule with preparations, and would they have time to do the test today, and then install or enable FTS, and still have time to launch tomorrow? So that was another question. So I think the answer is somewhere between those two for why that we're going for Tuesday and not Monday. I'm totally cool with it. I'm excited as long as we have good weather for it. And, visibility is not guaranteed. So if we have better visibility Tuesday than we do tomorrow, then I'm cool with it. But Flight 4 the visibility was so low we really didn't see it at all. We saw like a little bit of the mock diamonds right above the OLM as it lifted off, and then we didn't see it again. So fingers are crossed because we want to see that launch, we want to see that catch, and let's actually take a moment to talk a little bit about the catch. So there's probably going to be an influx of people getting interested into what's happening with Starship and Starbase after the viral clips of the booster coming back and being caught by the chopsticks here. So, do we expect that to happen again on this next launch on Tuesday? The answer is yes, kind of. So, I think it's really important to highlight the fact that the chance of them catching the booster on Flight 5, which was the last flight, internally at SpaceX, that kind of communicated that they weren't really sure that they were going to actually be able to do it, or that they were even going to attempt it. Basically, as the booster goes out, they monitor the health of everything and monitor all the telemetry and all the data coming back from the vehicle. And if and only if all the criteria are met and it looks healthy, then the booster will come back and be caught. That same statement is true for Flight 6. So the booster will go, it'll separate from Starship. Starship will continue on towards the Indian Ocean, and then they're going to look at all of those launch criteria for the booster, or landing criteria for the booster, to see if they will go for that catch attempt again. Now, we have to remember that it's possible that this time it doesn't look as good, and maybe they won't go for the catch on Tuesday. But I have a pretty high confidence that they will go for the catch, but only time will tell, so we'll have to see. So another thing there is that they did change the landing commit criteria. So they looked at all the data after they caught the booster on Flight 5 and determined that some of the criteria that they required for landing or catch weren't accurate or kind of weren't within scope of where they really should be. So because of all of that new data and all that information, they have changed the commit criteria for landing, which I think, if anything, will increase the chances of them going for another landing attempt or catch attempt this time. So, yeah, I'm super stoked here. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how today's test goes. So far, everything's looking good. Of course, we're not seeing the data that's going on at Starbase, so they are really the only ones that know whether today's test is going well or not. But from all that we can see, there's no reason to believe that it's not going well. So this is great news. We have a giant ship that's going to come by our view here in just a little bit. Man, that thing's moving slow. So that might block our view for a little bit, but the ship is pretty cool, so that's all right. Let me check in with chat here, see how we're doing. I know it's been a bit since I've been live, so our momentum on our launch stream, or on our streams in general, pretty low right now. So I'm not so sure that we're going to have a ton of people in chat today, but that's okay. We have to just build up that momentum again. I'm also going to check our restream chat because we are broadcasting on more platforms than just YouTube. I don't currently see any. We have some feedback from a friend saying the camera is a bit shaky. Let me make sure optical image stabilization is on. I think it is. I think the reality of it is it's just kind of windy out here right now. So hopefully we'll have we'll see if we have such conditions on Tuesday. Yeah, image stabilization's on, so there's not much improvement I can do there. But generally speaking, on launch days, we've been really lucky with the wind and haven't had a lot of issues with camera shake. I'm going to pull up X and see if our X stream is looking good as well. Yep, looks like we are live and looking good on X. So this is great news. Everything is going well. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about what the booster is expected to do on Flight 6, but we can talk a little bit more about what the ship is expected to do on Flight 6. Just to bring it back one step, high level, in case you're new to Starbase and Starship, the vehicle is made up of two pieces. Stage 1, the booster, also known as Super Heavy, and Stage 2, the Starship. That's the thing with the flaps. That's the second stage, and that's like the spacecraft that would go to orbit if we were trying to go to orbit on Tuesday. So the booster, as we said, launches, separates from Starship. A booster hopefully comes back and gets caught. The Starship will continue into a near orbital trajectory. It won't technically get into a true orbit. I think there's some contention on the definition of orbit and all that stuff, but it's a near orbit inclination that it's getting into, and velocity. So we're actually expected to see an engine reignition on Starship this time around. So we'll see that on the SpaceX stream. And then eventually we want to see Starship come down and propulsively land softly in the Indian Ocean. And SpaceX should give us beautiful daytime views of that, which we haven't seen yet because of the timing of these launches historically. But this time we should hopefully see that. Now, I have some caveats for the ship, just as I did with the booster. Success is not guaranteed for a soft landing of the Starship. In fact, I think SpaceX is really trying to push the boundaries with this last version 1 Starship. So this Starship that's going to be launching on Tuesday, the upper piece, the upper stage, that is the last of this version. All of the previous flights of Starship so far have been version 1, and then next launch we're going to move to version 2 on Flight 7. So I think they're trying to push version 1 as hard as possible on re-entry this time. They've taken some tiles off in a couple different locations, and I think they just really want to see how resilient the body of Starship is without the full coverage of tiles. So we're gonna see if that thing comes all the way down or if it burns up. We're gonna really have to see. But it's important to remember that this is a test, and they're pushing those boundaries on purpose because it's safe to do on this flight. There's no payloads that we know of. Obviously, there's no people on it. So they're really just trying to push this. And if it happens that Starship does happen to fail on reentry, I don't think it's a big deal. We got that data. So I think that is a potentially expected outcome. But I actually personally still expect a soft landing in the Indian Ocean. So that's my expectation set here. So I think that's really high level on what we're going to expect here on Tuesday. We're just going to have to keep an eye on the weather. We're going to have to keep an eye on SpaceX readiness levels and all that good stuff, but I have no reason to believe that we're going to get any further shifts in the timing. So we don't have a lot left to get ready here at Rocket Future. This is the most prepared I've been for a launch so far, which makes me really stoked. I talked to some friends within the last day or so, and I said that this is actually the first launch that I'm more excited than stressed or nervous. So I think because of the fact that we're actually ready for this one, we'll be able to enjoy it more. And the timing of this launch is super exciting, 4 p.m. Central Time. That means hopefully I'll actually be able to get a full night's sleep the night before. Every single launch up to this point, I've been on 0 or next to 0 sleep, and you wake up and you feel terrible, and the adrenaline from the launch just keeps you going, and it's a lot of fun, but it's hard. I can't really explain it. It's really hard to get through the launch days, and it being tired and stressed like that, I'm sure impacts the quality of the streams that I'm able to give y'all. So the fact that we're able to hopefully go into this relatively stress-free on a full night's sleep, I'm hoping to bring you guys the best launch coverage I can give you, and I think I'm gonna physically and emotionally enjoy it more. So I'm so stoked for this thing, and I hope y'all are too. This is going to be a fun one. This ship that's coming through is going real slow. So if it's going to block us, it's going to block us for a while. It is taking its time. It's probably still 10 minutes away from blocking us or something. 5, maybe. We're at 2.3% of dropped frames, which for Starlink is not bad. We can handle that. Checking in to see if there's any additional chats going on. All right, we have some chats. Again, Alhungaro is here. Good to see you. Alhungaro earlier said, let it rip. I'm so excited to see this thing go. Zolt waved earlier. Will says maybe tripod can be weighed down. I do have a weight on the tripod already. Will says Xtreme looks clean. Thank you for that. Space Girl Falcon says, hey, excited for testing. Me as well. Will says Andrew's Caveat Corner. Maybe that's what we should call. Maybe we should have a segment every stream about that. Juan is here. Good to see you, Juan. Don't forget to mention that it will be daytime landing attempt in the Indian Ocean. Good call there. I think I caught that before I caught that myself before I saw your text there, your message there. So that was good. We were able to get that. And yeah, so I'm like I said, I'm really ready for this thing. I think we're gonna have a good time here. I see some guy coming up here with a CSI Starbase hat. We love Zach. We love CSI Starbase. Good to see that people are out here repping the merch. Yeah, I encourage everybody to tune in on Tuesday for launch. If you're anywhere near Starbase, come down, see it in person. If you're coming to Isla Blanca Park, come say hi. Let me interview you on camera. We'll have a good time. We really will. And if you're not from around here, just tune in. Share this with as many people as you think would enjoy it. Space is an industry that's growing like crazy, and I know a lot of the public hasn't really caught up to how important it's going to be in the next 20, 30, 40 years. So share it with as many people as possible, because it's going to be better to be educated and on top of what's happening in the space industry as we move forward, because you know, 20 years from now, if people are just kind of willingly and ignorantly blocking what's happening in space because they don't agree with it politically and all that type of stuff, they're going to be in a position where they don't really understand what's happening and why. So we here at Rocket Future try to give as much information as possible from a high level so you can understand it, and we're also here to answer any questions you have on stream. One of the big benefits is that we do have a smaller community right now, so we can look at chat and we can answer questions, unlike some of the bigger channels where they can only get to a small percentage of the questions and comments. So that is a huge benefit of us being on a smaller community right now. We're continuing to grow. Again, we've lost a little bit of momentum just because we've had other priorities in life, unfortunately, in the last year or so. But we're back and we're ready to do this thing. So let's get it kicked off with a good launch on Tuesday. Let me just check in with all of our stream health and everything, and let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.
Check and see what kind of battery pack you got.
I got this big anchor here. This is really good. Highly recommend them. They are expensive, but they're worth it.
Okay.
They use like the newer type of lithium ion, so you get like thousands of charges rather than like 500 charges or whatever out of it. It's great. I couldn't recommend it enough.
Yeah, so you're running your Starlink, laptop,
Yep.
cameras.
Yep. So this will run.
How many watts is it?
You know what? I forgot at this point. It's good though. You can. I mean, I haven't done it, but technically you can run like microwave
count of two. You can see my Starlink antenna up
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And we've been here for 2, 4, 5,
Great.
and now 6.
Awesome. Exciting.
The last one was something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had a wedding, so
Oh, you missed
Yeah.
it. My
Yep.
my son's back here with me and his crew, and they were in Colorado. They had planned a trip.
Yep.
And they didn't come, and oh my God, oh my God,
Right.
that was just unbelievable. I hope we get. The weather was absolutely perfect last time. I hope we get some good weather, but it was just like, oh my God, it's gonna work. It was crazy, and there was more people here than I've ever seen.
Yep.
I mean, it was totally packed.
Yep.
They started letting people in at 1:30. I almost
Really?
slept through it. Yeah, normally they start letting them in at 3:30.
Yeah, that's wild.
But the other on 5, I just happened to be up, and all of a sudden they let them start flooding in. So I barely got my truck moved over here in time to grab one of the last spots so we could set up. But yeah, so no surprise. You're gonna hang out here.
Yeah. I'll be on launch day. I'll probably be set up either here or on the grass area right next to the statue over here. I usually do it from here, but one of the big things I like to do with my stream is kind of bring in the crowd vibe, the crowd environment.
Yeah.
And here you can kind of get an angle which has some of the crowd, but if I go in that grass area, I'll be
It's
able to get a
unbelievable
full.
last time as I panned. We were sitting in the back of my truck, and just the number of people. It was just like no comparison to 2 or 3. I guess because it's about 10.
Yeah.
And so everybody, it's going to be interesting to be in the daylight this time on what the crowd's going to look like.
Yeah, I'm curious. I think a lot of the locals might not show up because of the timing and work and stuff.
Right. Exactly.
But I still think it's huge.
Well, we appreciate you. My son, we watch all of y'all different guys. But he's the one who told me. He said, "He's out there. Go out there." They're down. He's got his 3 kids with. They're out on the beach.
Oh, cool.
And then I've been looking. This is the one thing I haven't gotten yet.
Battery
Is
pack.
a battery pack.
Yep.
So I've got it now to where I run my Starlink off of my truck battery. I got a 12 volt to 36 volt
Yep.
inverter, and it's supposed to run that for a while, but my son brought a little small TV. Last time we transferred, I don't know who it was, can't remember who it was. They had their TV going down there by the statue because seeing the ship and everything.
Yeah.
Hell,
See what happens next.
you can't see what's going on the other end without a Starlink connection. So
That's the other good benefit of these is I don't have to run any power off the Jeep, so I don't have to worry about it dying at the end.
yeah,
of the
that's
day or whatever, and it's just,
that's what I did yesterday before we drove in. I have one of those Gulu jumpers.
Yep.
I checked it 64%. I said I better charge that up to 100% because I may run my battery dead.
Yep. Makes sense.
Anyway, where are you from?
Originally from Massachusetts, but I moved down here a couple years ago.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right. And you do this for a living, or?
It's kind of a side gig.
Yeah.
I'd love to keep it growing, but
Yeah.
kind of a smaller channel, and we've had some points where we've had some really quick growth, but because it's a side thing, I also have responsibilities with my job and stuff, so it's hard to keep the momentum going.
Oh yeah, right.
But I have so much fun with it, and the opportunities that it's provided is so awesome.
Oh yeah, I
so,
can imagine.
And I have contributors and stuff. I get some memberships that come into the channel and stuff, but it helps with the cost of everything, but it still has a negative.
It's a negative. It's a negative. Yeah, you gotta like it, huh?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah, well, we appreciate you and some of the other ones that we watched.
Thank you.
We were trying last time we got in here. We had trouble and we didn't make it. They closed. By the time we got over there, they closed Highway 4.
Oh yeah.
And so this time, they closed it again. But so now they're doing the. I guess West Trip. Oh yeah,
Okay.
we normally go over there the day before, walk out on the sand dunes and the mud flat and all that kind of stuff. But we didn't get to last time, and then this time I don't know if we're gonna. I think we're thinking about trying to be over there at 4 o'clock and see if they'll open the road back up. And last time we tried to go afterwards, but they had it closed because they had that booster hanging there and it still had fuel in it. So we had to go ahead and leave.
Well, tonight at sunset, the bonfire gathering
Yep. I don't even know your last name.
Yeah.
NBC.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild.
I don't ever, I think that's the way you have it online.
Yep.
And,
I do. That's so funny.
yeah, right. Kind of like Zach. We ran into him over there in the mud flat on probably been two. And, ran into him. Then we ran into Everyday Astronaut.
I'm gonna give them a quick update.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. You're totally good. All right, folks, as you can see, sounds good. The ship is about to block our view here, but just stick with us. We'll have some more views after the ship goes by, but it's going to take it a few more minutes. But things are looking good, and we'll be back with you shortly. All right, while this ship is going by and blocking our view a little bit, I will jump back on commentary here for a second. And this is one of the big reasons why I recommend y'all coming out here. If you're into this stuff, if you're excited about Starship and Starbase, you have to come down here and check out the vibe around launch day. Like the conversations that I have and people coming up to me and talking about Starship and Starbase, and everybody's just so excited, and it's unlike anything that I've seen. Just like actually the closest thing I can compare it to is like a music festival where you like go and stay a weekend with a bunch of other people, like camping at this music festival. That's the type of vibe. It's different, but that's like the only thing I can compare it to. A bunch of people from across the world coming into one place for one specific reason. Everybody's super excited about that one thing, and you meet the best people and have the greatest conversations here. So like this gentleman that just came up, we chatted and had a great conversation, and it's awesome to see people coming out here and getting excited about this stuff. And it's so cool, so cool. So I'm curious what kind of ship that this might be. So as we know, just to which direction am I? West is the Port of Brownsville, and the Port of Brownsville is one of the busiest ports in North America, I believe, or was at one point, and it's still very busy. But they do things like ship decommissioning, so the ship could potentially be coming in to be decommissioned, ship refurbishments, but this also might just be a full production ship that's doing whatever it's doing and just coming back in as part of its usual operations. So no idea what this thing is, but let's hope it doesn't try to get by during launch day at this time at 4. All right, let me check in again with chat and see how we're doing. Check on stream here. Down to 1.9% frame drop. That's certainly an improvement. Yeah, when I first came out here, I was struggling with Starlink for 10-15 minutes. And I realized it was because I had it configured for West Texas, because the last launch stream I did was in Van Horn. We got to see NS-26 launch. Do I have this commentary view still up? Yeah. We had the opportunity to go out and see the NS-26 launch in Van Horn, which of course is the Blue Origin launch site. New Shepard, really, really cool. Reusable booster. Booster comes actually fully reusable vehicle. Booster and capsule obviously come back down. Booster propulsively lands. Um, the capsule comes down under parachute and has a soft landing blast underneath it. Really, really cool. You get the sonic boom experience and everything out there. I actually loved that experience, and I will certainly go back out there for more New Shepard launches. But if you missed that stream, check it out. It's on our channel. You'll find it. But we had the opportunity to see our friend Dr. Iman launch to space, which was really, really amazing. Just to have an acquaintance that you know in that capsule going up in space, that was something special, and I hope I get that experience again in the future. So cool. So that was a fun one. So that was good. I feel like it's been so long since we've had a stream, but I guess it wasn't that long since we did that stream, luckily. So that was good for sure. I have to be careful not to get a sunburn out here today. I feel like I might be at risk of that. Gotta keep rotating. Sorry, I was just checking some of these other scenes here. All right, as you can see, the ship has now gone out of our view, and you should be able to start seeing the Starship vehicle again. And let's take a look at it. Does it still seem frosty? How does it look? Definitely seems like things have wound down a bit with whatever the testing was today. Who knows what they might still have left. But the testing window opened at 8 a.m. this morning. And it seemed like they really started getting under the testing probably an hour and a half ago. So I would anticipate that they're kind of winding down and might call it a day. I think their window for testing today goes to, I don't know, 2 or 4 p.m. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them wrap that up early and see Boca Chica Beach open in not too long from now. We are going out to Boca Chica later today. I'm definitely not going to commit to doing a stream out there today. I may do one out there later this afternoon, but I want to get one done out there before launch. So if it's not today, then maybe it'll be Monday evening. But we kind of just have to play it by ear. Again, the goal for me on this launch is to be as prepared as possible and have everything ready to go and be as stress-free as possible. So what I want to do is give you the best launch day stream as possible. So if I can get out there and fit that in without, without spending too much time, like if I feel like I can do it, I'll go out there. So I don't want to make any promises, but I'm hoping to bring you a stream from out there before we launch on Tuesday. So that'll be good. Okay, and now this ship is turning. I don't know what's happening. The ship is turning around, and I don't know if it's going to come right by us again or what. That's wild. But yeah, so the whole purpose of this update, one second here. I'm going to zoom out so you can see what's going on. But yeah, so if they are continuing to wind things down, we will probably wrap things up in not too long from now. But everything looks like it's going well. Cameras are good. Starlink is good. Mic is good. Cables, computer, power, we're all pretty much set for Tuesday. The only thing I have to do between now and then is just organize a little bit, do some cable management, and finish configuring my OBS scenes, and then we are ready to go. So realistically, I only have a couple hours left of work to do before Tuesday. as far as my stream goes. But of course, there's other stuff that comes along with living down here during a launch. A bunch of people coming down from all over the world, across the country, some of which I know. And obviously, I'm going to want to see some people and share the excitement of this experience that's coming up on Tuesday with those folks. I'm helping some people with where to stay and all that good stuff. So there's a job outside of just setting the stream up, and I'm really happy to do it. But that takes some time as well. So yeah. Yep, and this ship is blocking us again. I've been doing a lot of testing of the Starlink Mini in the Jeep right now. Right now we're running on our full-size Starlink. And on Tuesday for the launch, we will be running on the full-size Starlink. But what I'm really trying to do is put the Starlink Mini through the paces and see whether or not it can really handle a full stream. To see if I can eventually phase out the first gen, or not first gen, but the full-size Starlink that I have here. It's more expensive, and yeah, we're just gonna try to make our setup here as simple as possible, as easy as possible to set up for launches. The goal is quick setup for a low budget, and I think we do pretty well with that. But continuing to try to simplify everything down, and we have the Starlink Mini permanently mounted in the Jeep, and if we can just run these streams off of that, that would be amazing. But for now, we're gonna stick with the full Starlink, so we don't have any problems on Tuesday. But then I'll really run it through some tests. For anybody just tuning in, we are at the southern tip of South Padre Island, about 5 miles from the launch pad. SpaceX is currently doing some testing to the Flight 6 stack. I think they're probably on the second half, like the winding down half of testing right now. And hopefully everything looks good and we'll be good for a launch on Tuesday. Again, the window opens at 4 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday, so just a couple days from now. And I believe it's a 30-minute launch window. So we'll see where within that we actually get this launch. They are going to attempt a catch again if everything is looking good with the booster after launch. Again, they'll look at all of those catch criteria, and if the booster is looking healthy, they'll start trying to bring it back and go for the catch. So we hope to see that again here on Tuesday. The ship should be getting past this stack here in a second, and then we can zoom right back in. I'm going to put the mic down so I can adjust. Yeah, so as we're getting another view of the ship and booster here, it does look like that the frost lines have significantly decreased. So I think they really are winding up testing. Who knows? They could have something else in the pipeline for testing for today. But in general, I think that's unlikely. I think they're probably going to wrap things up pretty shortly here. It's 11:21 Central Time right now. We're probably going to try to wrap up by 11:45 if there is no additional indications of testing. If there is, then we'll stick around. But 11:45 is currently our target to get out of here or to start wrapping up stream. Let's talk a little bit more about my launch day plans. So as we said, the launch window is going to open at 4 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday. I've been thinking heavily about what time I want to start stream at, and I think I've landed on noon. That is subject to change for sure. It all depends on how prepared I am, if I have any last minute issues with the setup that we need to fix. But I think what we might do is start stream up at 12 with live views of Starship and Starbase as we see the tank farms start to spool up, all that good stuff. The actual road closure, I believe, begins at 8 a.m. Central Time on Tuesday, but I don't think we need to be live from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And at that point, we would have some concerns with our battery life for all of our equipment here. So I think the strategy is to start around noon. And what I might do is for the first 2 hours, just bring you live views of the pad, show you what's going on, and then provide updates on some incremental basis, whether it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And then otherwise, I can continue setting up in the background and chatting with folks and getting everything ready for launch. And then at 2 p.m. Central Time, then we start our full commentary portion of the stream, where we just, we do our full thing, our usual launch day stream, interview people, all that good stuff. If you haven't caught one of our launch day streams before, it is a lot of fun. Our main goal here at Rocket Future is to kind of bring the environment of being in a crowd and the excitement to you with great live views where possible, whenever the weather allows for. So we bring people on, we interview them. One thing I try to do is interview somebody here that has not seen a launch before the launch, and then after, to get their opinions on how everything went and how it met their expectations or not. And it's just so much fun. We really have a lot of fun here. So if you're looking for the kind of vibe where you're down here with us and in the crowd and hanging out, that's I think this is going to be the place for you. So come and join us. Ask any questions you got in chat, and we'll do our best to answer those for you. But it's going to be a blast. So let's just keep an eye on Starship here for the next 20 minutes or so, see if there's any additional indications of further testing. But if not, we'll wrap things up shortly. Thank you. All right, checking in if everybody. 1 second. Make sure I'm good and unmuted. All right, if you're just tuning in, we think we're towards the end of Starship testing for today. We're keeping an eye on it for another 15 minutes, just to make sure that they're not doing any additional testing. From everything that we can tell, I think everything went well today. We should be on schedule for a launch on Tuesday, barring any other issues or weather concerns. So stick with us for a little bit longer. Make sure that they're going to wrap things up. We'll give another high-level overview of what we're going to expect over the next couple days here, what SpaceX still has to check off before our launch on Tuesday. We'll do that in about 10 minutes from now. So we'll go through all that. So hang out for a little bit. We'll talk about the checklist, and we'll go from there. Check, check, check. All right. just a second here. We're going to kind of go through the list of things SpaceX has to complete between now and Tuesday. Just give me a second. We'll get that conversation started. All right, let's go over this checklist. So here we are. Today is what, Sunday? We're about 2 days and a few hours away from our launch window opening at 4 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday. So SpaceX, what we believe they did today was kind of like a mini wet dress rehearsal where they loaded propellant and fuel into the liquid oxygen methane tanks on the booster and also the liquid oxygen and methane tanks on the ship. We saw them go through that process, and since then we've seen them detank. And at this point, it kind of looks like the testing has wound down. So again, unless they start doing something else by the time we're done with this conversation, we're going to start wrapping things up here in less than 10 minutes. So what else is left for SpaceX to do? First and foremost, they have to kind of look over all the data from this test to make sure it looks good. I'm sure they're doing that real time. They probably already know whether or not it was a good test. Maybe they'll have some sort of review of this today. But all indications from what we could see, it looked like everything went fine. So we don't know if they were going to try to go for a full load or anything. I don't think that they were. I think what they did today was probably exactly what they were trying to do today. So let's just kind of assume for now, unless we hear otherwise, that today's test was good. What else do they have to do? They have to finalize anything with FTS. I was scrolling through X yesterday, and there was some comments about whether or not it was already installed, all this type of stuff. So regardless, they have to activate it, install it, all that stuff. So FTS work has to be done after today's test. So what we'll probably see is a destacking of the ship and booster. I think it's likely. So don't freak out if you start to see them destack the ship off of the booster. That should not be a cause for concern. So they'll destack, finish whatever FTS work that they have to do, and then if that's the case, they would restack it at that point. And then we're looking at Tuesday for that launch window. So what needs to happen between now and then? I think they probably have all the propellant and fuel on the site that they need. If not, they have to wait until the trucks can get in there and fill it back up. I'm sure they used some of it today, but I don't expect that they used a portion large enough today that would affect their readiness for Tuesday. So FTS, restack, and then it's kind of a gray area between this point and Tuesday as far as what internal processes need to happen over there at SpaceX, but I don't think there's very much. Weather, we'll have to keep an eye on weather, make sure that the Tuesday is looking like a good launch opportunity for them. If they see some concerns ahead of launch, of course we may see them shift further, but I don't expect that at this very moment. So at that point, as long as weather is good and they destack, FTS work, restack, at that point we're pretty much ready for Tuesday. So I don't expect any further delays beyond anything that they might have seen with today's testing. So not a lot left for them to do, which is great. The less things that they have to accomplish between now and Tuesday, that's the lesser amount of things that could actually impact our chances of going on Tuesday. So right now I'm feeling confident that we have a really good chance for a launch opportunity on Tuesday. Again, the launch window opens at 4 p.m. Central Time. We'll be going live probably around noon on Tuesday, subject to change. Let me check in with chat. Sorry that the ship keeps driving by and blocking our view, but there's not really much I can do about it. It provides some cool views in the meantime. Sorry, just give me a second to pull up chat here. It looks like no additional questions, so that's good. Let me check restream chat. Yeah, it looks like we're good. So it's 11:40 now. We'll give it 5 more minutes, and then we'll start wrapping up stream. again, as long as we don't see any other indication of testing. So thank you for, in case that we end up wrapping up, thank you for joining us today. My name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future, and we'll see you on Tuesday for launch. Potentially, we might have one more stream before launch, and that'll be out at Boca Chica today or tomorrow. I'll try my best, no promises, but we're going to try to get a nice up-close stream of this full stack before this thing goes on Tuesday. So we'll talk to you later. Thank you very much. We'll hang out for 5 more minutes and see if anything else happens. Oh, there's actually one more thing that we can discuss here over the next couple of minutes before we wrap things up. So one thing we hadn't really talked about much is, especially when we're talking about the criteria of things that they need to get through before Tuesday to launch, one thing we didn't really talk about was the launch license. And why is that? Usually the launch license is such a major stress point ahead of launch. Are they going to get launch license? When are they going to get it? That type of stuff. Luckily, they did not have to worry about that process this time. The previous launch license was good for, actually I have to go back and check, but it was good for more than one launch. I don't know if it's specifically good for 2, if it was good for any amount of launches until they make additional changes. So here's the thing. We don't have to worry about the launch license this time, but we likely will have to for next time. This is the last version 1 of the Starship vehicle. So that second stage up top, the piece with the flaps, the Starship vehicle, this is version 1. Version 2 is going to be used on the next launch. Version 2 is slightly taller, and there's some other differences. The flaps have moved, that type of stuff. And I believe because of the length change, I think I would have to go back and double check, but I'm pretty sure there is a difference in how much propellant and fuel that Starship version 2 is carrying. I think that's probably the big reason for the change. And because that's the case, I think they're going to probably have to get a new license. I don't know that for sure. We'll have to wait and see. But I think that's a big enough change for them to actually have to get another license for the 8th or 7th launch. So we'll see how 6 goes. But because 5 met all of the criteria and all of the points in the launch license and didn't cause any issues or go outside the expected flight, they didn't need to re-up on another license, which was awesome. That was a huge stress point ahead of all of the previous launches that we did not have to deal with this time. So that was a huge win. But we'll have to see if that's the case for next launch too. So does that bring us to our time here? Let me check our view and make sure it doesn't look like they're doing anything else. There is some additional venting coming from the ship. I think it's probably just additional depress vents. So I don't think that's any indication of continued testing. So that brings us to our time here today. If anything else exciting happens today, I can always come back down, start the stream back up. But that's it for now. So huge shout out to all of our channel members. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your flexibility while it's been a little bit slow on the channel the last couple months. I was glad to bring you that Northrop Grumman launch back in October. That was fun. It was October, right? I don't know. Time just goes by at such a weird rate. And we're excited to bring you Flight 6 and hopefully a catch. So we'll see how that goes. I'm super stoked. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to meet up with a bunch of the people that are coming down for launch. So this is good stuff. Good stuff. We'll see you all Tuesday, hopefully at 12 noon Central Time. But until then, my name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. We'll see you next time, and peace out. Thanks, guys.